Three, two, one. What it do, baby? Welcome to another episode with yours truly, the amazing host, Tim V. That's right. What do you think V stands for? That's my last name, and you will have a hard time pronouncing it. So, it's Tim V Podcast. Starting off on the bad news. A lot has happened in the world. Not so great news, but today we're only going to be positive. We're going to be focusing on the positive because I cannot pronounce things now. But listen, alright, so since I'm your number one news channel and the podcast that you listen to, which you can follow me on YouTube and you can subscribe to me on Spotify. Also, I think that's it. So, here we are. News of today. Let me ask you first. Are you a technology person? Of course you are. We're in 2019. We use phones like all the time. Are you let me ask you another question. Are you a person that would like to understand technology? That's right. I knew it. I knew you would. Honestly, sometimes I do not understand, and I'm what they call, quote unquote, millennial. And so I was like, you know what kind of technologies I can talk about? So I went on google.com and I looked up some stuff. And I'm happy to present to you the information that apparently no one needed to know, but yet everybody wants to know. Two things. Today we'll be talking about Tesla, and you guessed it. My gosh, you guys are smart. Today we'll be talking about new Tesla's invention, and I'm not talking about Nikola Tesla because he's got plenty of inventions, but thanks to Thomas Edison. That's right, I'm name dropping here. I don't know. Tesla came out with a new car, a truck actually. Out of all the things that you thought, you know what needs to be electric? My truck. Who thought? Who thought they need an electric truck? I mean, I get you want your sedan, you roll up, you're super cool. Okay, SUV, that could be something. They're being sold for, what is it, $150,000. But here's the thing, trucks. We have trucks now that are electric and surprisingly super fast and comfortable. Now. I have no idea why Tesla's like, you know what? Let's do trucks. But I know, not personally, obviously, but looking at Elon Musk, I would say that Elon Musk is like, you know what? Whatever you think, let's create that. He had like a room together with everybody, and he's like, just give me your worst idea and we're gonna make it better. And somebody's like, that car that every 4-year-old drives? Those cars that like every 4-year-old draws, I'm sorry. And with like barely any function of the vehicle, and then tiny, tires. And then everybody's like, oh, that's so cool. And somehow it's like always like either green or gray. And Elon Musk is like, you know what? I'm gonna create that. And here we are. 2019, creating electric trucks. Anyway, so Tesla and Apple, but we're gonna get into Apple later. So let me run down some history for you about Tesla. So, as Nikola Tesla believed that, we are in that area where we need to realize that electricity can run your life. And I don't mean like in the sense of like, oh, you can charge your phone or anything like that, but literally like electricity can help you accommodate other things. So like, Ford or other cool cars that are being used, they have like millions upon millions of like production systems, and they've been in existence for, I don't know, like let's say I think a decade, because Ford was the very first car, right? Ford T1. And so Nikola Tesla was like, you know what, you can actually use electricity. And he didn't think of cars, but I'm pretty sure he was thinking of a concept. So Elon Musk is like, let me create SpaceX. So right, SpaceX will be like what is it? He had Falcon recently, rocket ships that can be retrieved back, I guess is what what it's called, like it's gonna come back. So there's a navigating system that they worked on that you can use the rocket from Earth to wherever you want, and then that rocket can come back. And they did like a bunch of tests and all that. After that, he's like, you know what? Let me use electricity for something good, and so he created a car. But here's the thing: Nikola Tesla, from my research, and I love that guy. I mean, I've studied Nikola Tesla for like, I don't know, a better half of a decade. And just because I had to present a project in my high school, in one of my high school years, and then I was like, man, this guy is really genius. So ever since then, I've been, studying him. But Nikola Tesla believed that you can absorb the energy from Earth, that you can use the magnetic pole and use that as to like ignite a light, recharge a battery, create a certain like I guess like negative I forgot what's this called, negative, not pole, but like negative area, where it's like all of a sudden your like plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, which I'm like, that's impossible. And he's like, he did that, but like anyway, so that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, and then Elon Musk is like, I want to create electric cars. And electric cars have been like in this idea for a long, long time. But it's the same thing with like, eating meat has been a huge part of everybody's life. But now we have so many like Impossible burgers or like veggie burgers that taste just like it. And everybody's like, oh, it's much healthier. Meat is not that great for you, So it's a similar concept with cars where you get to have electric cars that are super good. Except everybody loves electric cars because, first of all, they look super futuristic. I mean, like, we're talking about like all those movies like iRobot. I cannot pronounce things. I never can and never will. That's right. But all those futuristic cars that you've drawn in your journals or you've seen in movies, like Elon Musk is like, yeah, let's create that because he's that genius. But it's not just him. He is opportunist seeker. He will find people who can get him to that place. And that's what happened with his 4 models, which is Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Model Y. Which, honestly, I think the reason why he created... Like, when you put all of that together, and Model 3 looks like 3 lines horizontally placed, which spells sexy. And listen, the guy wanted to create 4 models right off the bat so that he could spell sexy. So instead of E, because I don't know, there was I was reading up on that, and it has been what is it called? Marketing issue. Like, not everybody wanted to like. I was like, oh, sexy. Like, it's too much up in your face. So he's like, all right, Model 3. So you can still spell sexy, but like you have to know about the history before understanding. So there's a little nugget of truth, a little nugget of information. You can look it up on google.com. So he created, SUV. He created like a affordable car for everyday use, Model 3. And then he created Model S, which is like super fast. You can have like a single motor or dual motor. It's not a motor exactly, but it's a dual. Not an engine, but like if you have a dual. It has to do with the battery pack and how it's placed underneath your car. That's what it is, right? I'm not an engineer. I just love reading it. So. Yeah, so Model S is super fast. And then all of a sudden, last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but Tesla came out with trucks. I'm not talking about pickup trucks. I mean trucks like transportation trucks. And here's the thing. It's very popular in America because truck driving is #1 job in America. Who knew? Who knew that driving large sums of items can be so profitable in the US of the A? And Elon Musk is like, we're going to tap into that business because no other person wants to create electric trucks. Now, Volvo has been like dominating the market there, but all of a sudden, everybody just randomly orders trucks. Like, we're talking about like a person who works an office job, who's a banker, who probably gets like 6-figure or something like that, just randomly pre-orders trucks. Or First of all, why? I mean, obviously you want it because it's there and it's, you can afford it, or it's like, well, I can have it, therefore I want it. So, what a truck. A truck. Why do you need a giant truck? Anyway, hey, listen, some people want it, some people don't. But anyway, recently they came out with this Cybertruck, which is a pickup truck. So I guess like a tinker version of a Ford F-150, because everybody's like, oh my gosh. That's my voice of everybody that I've met combined. Oh my gosh. Ford F-150 is so amazing. I don't know. My throat hurts now. No, but listen, that's like, if you think trucks, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Comes to my mind. I feel like everybody's mind, right? You would say Chevy or Toyota, right? Toyota Tundra. That's something that, it's like, oh, trucks, whatever, right? I grew up in the city. I don't know what's the hype about the trucks, right? But Tesla's like, let's create trucks. I was like, all right, bro, cool. So here's some of the. Let me run down some statistic for you. All right, here we are. There you go. Single motor, which I was talking about. Dual motor, and there's a tri-motor. So it depends on. I mean, first of all, single motor, just a base. You can get from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 6.5 seconds. I don't understand why you need your truck to get that fast. I mean, you get from point A to point B as safe as possible, and you're loading stuff up. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna buy it. I mean, range is 250 plus miles, which is that's average. Because I mean, first of all, you get what is it? I think that's a normal for a truck, because usually you get like 300 miles on a truck before you, like, full tank. But here's the thing, you don't have to like go to a gas station or anything like that. You can have a charging station in your house. You can charge it with their mega charging stations. You can charge 75%, up to 80% of your tank in 30 minutes, or in less than 30 minutes, which is crazy, because I mean, first of all, like, it's gonna save whatever energy. But dual motor and tri-motor. So I just want you to compare that. With a single motor, from 0 to 60 goes in less than 6.5 seconds. With 3 motors in it, it goes from 0 to 60 in less than 2.9 seconds. Now hear me out. You know what goes from 2.9 seconds? Their Roadster. Their Roadster, which is a speed car. A car that can be used in a racetrack. You're not getting this. You have a speed car. I don't know what you call it, but like a race car. There you go, a race car. I'm dumb. You have a race car that goes from 0 to 60 in less than 2.8 seconds. And then you have a truck that does the same thing. A truck that's heavier and twice as big. I don't know. You would have to pay like a gazillion. I don't know. You would have to pay a lot. But that thing looks so futuristic. Like, I would want to drive it just for the sake of driving it, because I feel like it would look good. Now, the design is more of like, I mean, that's not the hottest design, like an exterior, but it's perfect for picnics. For like, if you wanna go out and like have that the back to be used as bed, or like for you to serve. I don't know. I grew up in the city, so picnicking. Anyway, do that. Um, yeah, it's a perfect combination of future and picnic. It's unbreakable, because they did. You can look it up on demonstration everywhere right now. It's been announced yesterday, so a lot of outlets coming out with it. So you get unbreakable body, because they tried with that sledgehammer. It did not break. The doors did not break. The glass did, though. So they tried the normal glass and then tried their glass, and they're like, "Oh, it's unbreakable." Through the taste test, oh my gosh, not taste test. Imagine if somebody tastes the glass. I mean, it's probably gonna be like David Blaine or anything. Anyway, but they tried with actually walking up to the prototype, the car, the only prototype they had, and throwing like a hard metal ball into the glass. It damaged the glass, but it did not go through, which is like, I mean, it's cool, but it's, they even used, they're like, do we have a gun? Can we taste it with a gun? I'm like, I mean, you are in California, but let's take a chill pill, bro. Air suspension has gotten so much better, and it is for loading things. So if you want to go on a picnic, if you want to load a vehicle inside, not a vehicle, but it was an ATV or whatever, it actually did. They actually came out with ATV. Like, this is what they did, and at the end they're like, oh, by the way, there's this last thing. They had ATV drive up onto the pickup truck and was able to charge ATV from the pickup truck. I don't know what you do, Tesla, but that's freaking genius. Apple needs to get your notes. The price is crazy, of course. It's starting from $39.99. Yeah, so that's called it 40,000. 40,000 is the starting price. It's baseline, completely baseline, no modifications or anything. But if you do, I'm pretty sure it can jump all the way to like 70, 80, or 90,000. And especially with ATV, if you want to add that to it, I mean, listen, it can go up to 100s plus, But the design is perfect. I mean, the price is crazy, but it's Tesla. What do you expect? Like that's gonna happen to you either way. It's a 6-seater. It's perfect for, like, you have 3 seats in the back, 2 up front, but then the third one can be converted in the middle into a seating. The design is perfect. It's futuristic, but that's already predictable because that's Tesla. It's like you expect it to be perfect, but then you're still shocked because it's better than your dreams. Like you think like, you have different like leaks and different images of like, oh, this is what Tesla's gonna come out, and everybody's like, no, it's not. It just looks. Tesla can do better. But then whenever they came out with the exact same design, you thought it's stupid. They're like, oh my gosh, they actually did it, right? And it's you expect it to be the way Tesla would do it. Excellence. That's what they do. You can pre-order, but you can't have it right now, which, usually it's like it takes up to a couple of years for it to come out. So, like, for instance, Roadster, which is their race car, it's going to come out in the beginning of mid-January. Mid-January. But that has been in the works for like 2 years now, 2.5 years. And, pre-order creates anticipation. Anticipation turns into more clients, and more clients turns into better production because they have more money. And they came out with ATV, like, holy crap, ATV. But anyway, it perfectly fits in the back of the truck. You can finally be the cyber cop that you always wanted because it looks freaking amazing. That's right. I use the word amazing. I mean, as much as I hate admitting that, like, I'm not a snob for like new things, but it looks kind of amazing. Like, I wouldn't mind driving in it because whenever you enter the inside of the vehicle, you have this marble finish on in front, one wheel, one steering wheel, obviously, and then you have this huge display, and then you realize, like, oh my gosh, this is what I want, and then you keep on driving. I mean, obviously, because of the tires, it creates that loud noise, but then you know that it's Tesla. I can't wait to see one on the road. Like, I'm happy to see each Tesla vehicle, and even the driver, because they own the world. Which is kind of crazy. Like, you're a snob driving Tesla. Like, you don't have to tell people you have money. They just look at your car, right? But you can finally, be this cool and be this extra. Which, yeah, honestly, I'm super amazing. But I'm looking forward to seeing other information, other things. I can, hope you check it out. It's definitely on every single YouTube channel and every single news outlet. Look at google.com. You'll find it. And tesla.com/Cybertruck. Definitely check that out. On other news, we have Apple. Now, hear me out. I am a proud to admit Apple fan. I love Apple. I love absolutely that Apple does. Sometimes it's stupid, but then you realize why they did it. And I am a proud owner of Apple Pencil. Now, before you hate me, I want to let you know that I asked my friend to borrow his Apple Pencil for like a month and a half, 2 months, and I was like, I just want to try it because I wanted to learn how to take notes on my iPad and not carry like I'm a note taker, so I usually carry like 2 to 3 notes with me, but then I forget where I wrote, and then I have to go back, and because of my work and different things that responsible for, I can't. But then all of a sudden I realized that Apple does Apple Pencil, so I'm like, you know what? Let me at least try, right? I'm not gonna buy it, but let me at least try. And then I realized, holy crap! Like this is amazing. Like I cannot stop taking notes. So everything from taking notes to my financial records and all of that is like it's so easy to take. I mean, obviously, like you learn how to live without it, but at the same time, it's like there's a way to make my life just a tiny bit better. Why not splurge on that? And thankfully, there are options. There are other pencils, and I tried, but nothing compares to Apple pencils. So I'm like, I gotta have it because it's useful and I use it every day. So why not? And then here we are, realizing that Apple, and this is might shock some of them, but we all know that Apple creates products. They design products in California in their headquarters right now in their what is it called? Uh, Loop something Loop. Anyway, they have this office that they've been trying to create ever since 2011, and when Steve Jobs was still alive and all that, and that's his last passion project, right? And so they finally created the Loop, the old Cyber Loop. Anyway, it's just the circle where it's so amazing. Like I would love to go there one day, right? And they create all their stuff there. They present stuff there as well. But then they build everything in China because it's much cheaper. So if your iPhone, right? If your iPhone is around $600-700, it would cost them about $150 to build and ship it, and then all of that is for profit, right? It's a what is it, margin, right? So if they cost them to create a phone, if they cost them to create an Apple Pencil, right, for $20, then they will be selling it for 100, and those $80 are being used for promotion, all of that, blah blah blah. But that's that margin, right? However, Donald Trump, the moment he became a president, he said that we need to bring those factories back because, again, the more factories we have, the more taxes they pay. Because, for instance, I don't know if you know this, you can be in different parts of the world, but hear me out, right? If if you want to buy something, you need to pay taxes, right? But if you have factories, like example Delaware, right? There's a state, Delaware. There's so many factories there, so whenever you buy something there, you don't have to pay taxes. So if the thing costs $100, it's gonna be $100. It's not gonna be like $105, or maybe like federal taxes, whatever. Anyway, but here's the thing: like the idea is that you don't have to pay taxes as much as in any other state. So we want to bring all the factories to the United States, so that way people can actually like, oh, this product was designed in USA and built in USA, like designed and assembled, right? And that's something that Donald Trump has been trying to bring to the U.S. for ever since he's got elected, right, in 2016. Because the idea obviously is the more factories, the more jobs, right? And that's not just it. It's just like that. Yeah, obviously jobs, but it goes all the way back to being proud that it was created in your own country, right? And so finally, finally they had their very first factory, Apple factory, and I was reading up on it, and I was like, this is crazy. It's been the worst for about 3-4 years now. And so yeah, so I was looking up in different websites and stuff like that, and CNBC has this really good article. I looked it up on Drudge Report. It talks about the headline says Apple CEO Tim Cook, the president and President Trump toured a Texas computer factory to toot U.S. manufacturing, which is really great. Yeah, because they even had this plaque which says their recent creation is an updated Mac Pro where you can, like, it's a power horse for anybody who edits, creates, or stuff like that. It's not your iPad or MacBook Pro, like a laptop, but it's like you put it on your desk and it stays there forever, right? Which as a starting price is $6,000. That's a whole different story. But here we are, That's cool. It's cool. I don't care. It's whatever. I'm not obsessed with buying it because I need it. No, no, no. I'm joking. I'm joking. Who wants to buy? I mean, obviously there would be companies and different people who have money to buy it. The same thing with like this Cybertruck. But it's they're proud that like Apple is finally producing, like assembling their devices in the U.S. of the A. And they even had this huge flag where it says, what is it? Designed by Apple in California, assembled in the USA. And that thing, assembled in USA, is a huge thing because they used to do that. But then they realized that they can actually make more money doing that in China. And a lot of people are doing that, and it's made in China or assembled in China. But that's the thing, is like it's it's really good for economy, right? So, Donald Trump being the person that he is, people have split ideas of him as a person and as a leader, but that's a very positive thing, and it's been operated by Flex. So it's not, you don't have Apple logo on it being like Apple created it, it's by oh Jesus, it's by a company, or yeah. I mean, yeah, anyway, that's a long story to get into that, but anyway, so things that I'm just gonna read a little bit off of that article that I found. So President Trump and Apple CEO Tim Cook toured a Texas manufacturing facility on Wednesday, getting a glimpse of factory used by Apple to assemble the Mac Pro desktop, which we've discussed, and then Trump was saying that I would always talk about Apple, that I want to see Apple's building plants in the United States, and that's what's happening. Trump said in a brief conversation with reporters after the tour. And Tim Cook is someone I greatly respect. And Tim Cook has been under Steve Jobs' supervision for a couple of years before Steve Jobs, rest in peace, bro. He passed away, so he knows how things work, and Tim Cook has been doing something that's tremendous, and he's been trying to reach out to new countries where they can either assemble or they can sell their products. And like China, like in India, especially right now, where in the United States you can have a phone that you can buy for $600, right? Unlocked, whatever, no, carrier free. But in India, because of the market, like it's too much money for them, you can buy that phone for $200, depending on the, like $250 on the exchange rate. But yeah, a previous model of the computer, the article continues saying, the plant toured on Wednesday, operated by Flex, assembles the Mac Pro, a high-end computer that starts at $6,000. A previous model of the computer was made in the same facility starting 2013. Apple doesn't own or operate its own manufacturing, and instead contracts with companies like Flex. A Flex spokesperson declined to comment, which, it's not a negative thing. It's just, what is there else to say? So that's the thing. That plaque said designed by Apple in California, assembled in USA. And that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing, the great free world of America. Not just learn, I wouldn't say experimenting, but it's more of them trying to build something else on top of that. And so, and honestly, we'll see about that. Like, I'm curious at the same time. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Because I have high hopes. I mean, obviously, the price for Apple devices will skyrocket again because the phones jumped from $600-700 to $1,000, and now everybody, your phone being $600-700 right now in 2019 is like, oh, it's a cheaper version, right? Where phones are like 10, 11, 15, and $2,000, right? Depending on the specs. But yeah, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. But I urge you to understand what's everything everything that's been going in the tech world. New phones coming out, new ideas being presented. Obviously, with Tesla and with Apple being in the forefront right now, running, Samsung focusing more on supplying the chips and the interior stuff of the phone rather than focusing on creating full-fledged phones that can take on the world. They had folded phone. You can look it up. They messed it up a bit, but they came back with it, and now they're selling it. I'm curious to see, but it's a huge thing for technologies, and I'm curious what 2020 is going to bring. And, if you stick with this podcast to see more about concise information about these things, then please, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on each platform. And I'm looking forward to either hearing your opinion or carrying on with this information. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for sticking around, and I catch you on the next one. So, bye.